I feel like Sami Zayn could get more over with little kids than fucking Roman Reigns.
The merchandise doesn't say that though. That's you know what I mean. At the end of the day,
that's
that's why John Cena
down everyone's throat. You can't buy a Sami Zayn figure at Kmart, but you can go in Kmart and get every fucking Roman Reigns figure because that's who they fucking jam down your throats, dude. You know that.
Now you sound like Natalia. Where's my shirt, Nikki?
No, but it's true though.
Where's my shirt? Dude. Nikki, you have a shirt that's orange and blue, and John Cena has the one that's blue and orange.
Bro, Natty, like, why she's never been a women's champ in the modern era is fucking beyond me.
Oh my god, that shit was hilarious. I think even my wife noticed that when Nikki came out, she's like, "Is she trying to be John Cena?"
Yeah, she's Iraq any day.
Yeah, I know you would like to. You
who the fuck would it? If you're a man and you don't think she's attractive, you're a fucking faggot. We're not politically correct here around the ropes. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to like buffer you out a little bit.
Oh, Jesus. Even.
Hashtag can buffer the prince.
Hashtag sorry, I'm not sorry.
Speaking of that, now moving forward, when I tweet, I'm tweeting hashtag RTR. That's our hashtag now.
Okay.
To talk to the millions.
Or in your case, talking to Busted Open.
Listen, man, Busted Open. They retweet all the time. We're on the same page, man. They retweeted like 4 times at Elimination Chamber. Oh, so let's go to that. We didn't really touch on Elimination Chamber. What did you think of the actual chamber?
I liked it. It was a little baby-proof, dude. Dudes aren't fucking
listen,
go on the hard
steel. Nerf proof.
Like these pussies.
No, I didn't. I said nerfed. I said they got nerfed. It's a nerf proof. It's an elimination nerf. It makes sense though. You know what I mean? Like, listen, they made
2017.
They made it higher so that they could have those visual effects. You know, like where they're standing on top of the pods. Yeah. Because when they used to do the original Elimination Chamber, which I was at the first one, where Shawn Michaels won the championship.
So were you there tonight? Scott Steiner debuted. Was that the same night?
Yeah, and when Paul Heyman turned on Brock Lesnar and went with Big Show.
Okay, can we talk about Scott Steiner and we'll get back to everything? One, what was it like when he debuted in that arena? Was it a big thing?
Not the loudest. It was a pop, but you know.
Did you pop?
Yeah, of course I popped. Are you kidding? I fucking teared when Shawn Michaels won the title. I got to see Shawn Michaels win the title. I said, I'm done. I don't need anything else. This was back in, 2002? I was like, I really don't need to see anything else ever again in pro wrestling. I saw Shawn Michaels win his last championship and wound up being.
I cried. That is fucking awesome.
I wish I don't really talk to the guy that I was with. He could tell you by proof because he was like sleeping and he wakes up because I dragged him to watch the show and he's like, "Are you kidding me?"
But the reason I ask you about Scott Steiner, because that's always a head scratcher, and I don't know if we've talked about this before, but he is such an anomaly to me as a guy who was just a white meat babyface in a tag team that wasn't really much of anything, and then couple cycles later, a bottle of bleach hair, a couple superstar Billy Graham promos, and he was fucking insane. Like, if you go back and watch this WCW and TNA shit, it's fucking hilarious. Now, maybe it's hilarious for all the wrong reasons, but the guy had something, and you can't say that he wasn't over in WCW. He was.
Well, yeah. I mean, he was a 3-time, 4-time champion, right?
Yeah.
World champion. I mean, the dude was he was off the rocker, but you know, it's going back to when he was in the Steiner Brothers. He was a really big dude.
Yeah.
You didn't realize how big he was, but he was a big dude. And yeah, like you said, and then he wanted to like go even further, and then all of a sudden, it's like something a screw loose, something. in his head, because I remember watching him back then, like during, in Monday Night Nitro, going, "What the hell happened?
Yeah.
what am I missing?" I get it, the whole gimmick and everything like that, but like that's a big difference. It's like what Chris Jericho said. He did his podcast with Shawn Michaels about 2 weeks ago, and he said he probably couldn't play the character that he played against Shawn Michaels when they had their epic storyline. Yeah. And he said just because of where he is in his career. And that's what I think, like, with Steiner. It's like, dude, what the fuck was going on with him? Like, I remember somebody saw him at a mall in Pennsylvania. It's like King of Prussia or something like that. And that dude was just walking around with a leather jacket and nothing else under that leather jacket, just telling people, like, the fuck you looking at. Just literally was a nut job.
Yeah, because, like, you never remember him cutting promos in the Steiner Brothers.
No.
Even talking at all. And then he's just...
He was just like, yeah.
Yeah. Like, what happened to his muscle? What? He's got a peak on that. How did that... What the fuck? Like, that dude didn't have that a week ago.
Yeah, what would he say? What his peaks?
Oh.
There was something with his promos.
Something with his freaks for his peaks or something.
So bad. And then when he got to WWE, I don't know, I think Triple H didn't like him or something like that and just buried him.
There was, and I think we might have talked about this. There's an interview of Kevin Kelly talking about that and how much he just buries Triple H. How much Triple H just fucking hated Scott Steiner.
Oh, yeah. No, I know I've read that a couple times, how much he just hated him and he just got buried in. I mean, that was literally his only really run with WWE, right? Yeah. He did nothing else. That was a time like where Triple H was running through everybody and it was so boring to watch because he ran even through Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Right?
He just wanted to get over on everyone, dude.
Yeah, and it's like nobody could do anything about it. It was just, that was a little boring. I remember like I would watch, but like it was hard to watch for a while. When Triple H, it was like, I guess around when he was doing Evolution and stuff like that.
Fucking Trips, dude.
It's your boy.
Yo, I'll tell you this. When I sign my contract, you're putting me over, Triple H. I'll tell you right now. I ain't fucking putting you over. I'll shoot on you in the middle of the ring, you big-nosed fuck.
Listen, man, we saw him up close and personal when he was when they were fighting through the arena. You saw all those dents of scars in his legs from all those hamstring tears that he had on both sides.
Can I tell you that night brought me back to life when we saw Seth Rollins jump off the top and we were like 3 feet away from it.
Yeah,
that was
sick.
One of those moments where I became a kid again.
Yeah, and you see that every time they show stuff like Seth Rollins jumping off that. It was like an exit, right, when his Zamboni comes out, and just that was crazy. I was like, dude. I remember watching it, just going, dude, that's fucking nuts. Like, I don't even know if I would want to do that.
That match was fucking awesome when they beat Evolution. That was a good match.
That was the day before, right? He turned?
No. He turned after Battleground. They had one more pay-per-view.
Oh, okay. They did one more?
Yeah.
All right.
Blue Tista.
That wound up being Daniel Bryan's last pay-per-view match.
Last pay-per-view match, or his last title defense against Kane.
Against Kane, right? And then he never...
Because we were so... scratching our head like, fucking Kane? Really?
Yeah. And I wanted to beat his last match. What a waste. But Kane, yeah, I remember that was awful.
Yeah, then he was gone for a year, so his first match back, they put him in a fucking ladder match.
Oh, the Intercontinental Championship.
What the fuck, dude?
That is a braid injuries. Let's put him in a ladder match.
And him and Dolph Ziggler had the headbutt spot for a minute.
Totally makes sense. Totally.
Yo, book it.
Yeah. So anyhow, as we were winding down, you wanted to talk about...
Scott Steiner, we were talking about Elimination Chamber, Shawn Michaels came up.
Oh, no, we just went all over the place. Me crying about Shawn Michaels, and then somehow we're talking about Steiner's peaks. But I was going to say, as we're winding down, you wanted to talk about a couple of the wrestlers that passed away this week.
So, Chavo Guerrero Sr. passed away late last week. What do you know about Chavo?
I don't know too much about him. You know, other obviously than being a Guerrero and all that. If anything, I probably lost knowledge on that.
Yeah. So funny thing, I really never knew much about Chavo Guerrero, and I would say 2 or 3 years ago, I was listening to Mark Maron's podcast, and there was a lead singer of the band called the Mountain Goats on, and they had just this guy had just wrote a whole album about pro wrestling in California and Texas. Those were the two territories that he watched growing up, the Southwest Territories. And he wrote a whole fucking album. He wrote a song about Bruiser Brody. But there's a song out there called The Legend of Chavo Guerrero. So that's how I kind of first learned about Chavo Guerrero. And the song pretty much tells you the history of Chavo Guerrero. So check that out. But pretty much, now if I get some of the names wrong, I apologize. I believe their father was Gordy or something Guerrero. It started with G. Was their father. He was a professional wrestler. Chavo was the oldest. He was a real amateur wrestler, good amateur wrestler all through high school and college. Became a school teacher and used to wrestle in the summers. And he became so good that the LA territory gave him, some money so he could go into it full time. And him and Roddy Piper had a bunch of feuds back in the day, drew some money. And then I know late in the 2000s when Chavo was in the WWE, he actually beat Chavo for the Cruiserweight title.
Sure.
They brought him back as a Chavo Classic, and he had matches as late as, I think, December of this year over in Japan. He was still working and stuff. Yeah, he was. I think he knew he was going out, but
he died of liver cancer.
Yeah, he was on hospice and everything, and Dave Meltzer had gotten a phone call probably a week out, but he wasn't allowed to tell anyone. He didn't want anyone knowing about his illness. He didn't want any sympathy from anyone.
Yeah, I'm seeing here. You're right. Chavo Classic, and he was the oldest son of Salvador Gory Guerrero.
Gory Guerrero, yeah. Yeah. But check that song out. I think maybe if we could end the podcast with the legend of Chavo Guerrero, if you could pull that up, I think that would be another good one.
Oh, it's cool, man. You think I'm a A+ producer?
Dude, get on it. And did you hear about Nicole Bass?
So I have a quick story about Nicole Bass. So she was into bodybuilding, and obviously I work at a facility where people bodybuild and stuff. And somebody that hired me is a professional bodybuilder, has their card and everything like that. And they were actually telling me today how their friend came up with Nicole Bass.
Oh,
and
wow.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, right? Like, it's a small world, because she every time like she hears about something with pro wrestling, she'll always text me because she knows I'm like super into it. Yeah. And she's like, my friend, she came up with Nicole Bass when they were getting their pro cards and stuff. So she texted the friend, and they weren't even in the loop about Nicole Bass being sick. It wound up, I don't think they even really posted it or something like that, but it wound up being a heart attack. And yeah, and I guess she was like on bypass or something like that, but it wasn't. They weren't able to, help her to, come back from that. So she was there for like 2 or 3 days, then eventually passed away with her girlfriend. But they were keeping it pretty private. But just small world. That I'm not sure where Nicole Bass was even from, but a lot of times you see a lot of these people who are bodybuilders. That's how I know a couple of people that knew pro wrestlers from bodybuilding and shit like that.
Yeah, they seem to go hand in hand, especially in the late 90s, 80s, bodybuilders and pro wrestlers.
A lot of these dudes, right? Triple H was a bodybuilder. He actually won a couple of trophies. John Cena was, what did Conor McGregor say? A failed Mr. Olympia? Failed Mr. Olympia?
I don't give a fuck.
And then the last one was it's George the Animal Steel.
George the Animal Steel, man.
Yeah. That's. I mean, that was really really young youth for me. But I was actually watching wrestling when he was still around. He was kind of fading out.
But we both watched